guys, it's Lainey. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. This is Crafted by Lucas and I'm going to be playing with a little bit of Lawn Fawn and Concord and Night. This is just the rainbow card front die. I want to incorporate a rainbow because I have this Lawn Fawn stamp and die set here and I just don't really want to color the rainbow. I think that it'll look prettier with paper. So that is the direction that I'm going to go in. So I'm going to move all that aside for right now and let's go ahead and stamp out our characters so we can allow this to dry before we color it. So I'm going to be using my mini Misty and I'm going to be stamping out on 110-pound cardstock because I know I'm going to build some of this up. So let's just position that there. And I've created a couple times with this, like behind the scenes, trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go in. And I didn't like what I was coming up with. So I've colored this little guy so many times just playing around, but this is going to be the first official card. So we want the unicorn. We're going to have the fairy, and let's just go ahead and add the little stars. That one's a little small one. Let's get this bigger one here. And the wand. And then the clouds. And I'm not sure about the clouds. I can stamp it out so it can have the black outline and then cut it out with the coordinating dies, or I can just cut out white clouds with the die itself. So two options there. So let's see. I think that's it for right now. So I'm going to close the door and clean my stamps. Let's reposition that. I am using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I just purchased it from Hobby Lobby. It's a fast drying ink, but you want to give it a few minutes to dry before you start coloring with your markers because it may bleed if it's not completely dry. But like I said, it is a fast drying ink, but give it a couple minutes. Okay, my door was on the little machine there. Pressing that stuff down, and I'm going to stamp it again just to make those lines more vibrant. And reposition my paper in that corner. I don't really like how my unicorn is looking. The lines aren't very clean and crisp. So let's turn this around and put my magnet there. I'm going to, let's think. I'm going to stamp this stuff out again. Well, I don't need, yeah, well, let me think. I don't need the stars. The stars look fine. But we will keep the fairy. Let's move the clouds off. Okay, I'm going to restamp this. Okay, that is much better. I like how that looks. It's just a cleaner impression. If you focus on the tail and then this tail, it's just kind of fuzzy. So I will use this one, and this star looks better too. So let's move that aside. I feel like I want more clouds, so let me go ahead and stamp the clouds out a couple more times. And then I think the next thing will probably be the cutting out of the paper while our stamps get all dry. So I went ahead and ran the rainbow die through my spell binders 5 times because there's 5 grooves here. And now I need to choose a color from each one and put it together. And what I'm thinking is to glue the rainbow to a piece of cardstock and then, well, no, I was thinking about running it through again, but that wouldn't That wouldn't work because I would have to line it up perfect. Crud. Okay, plan B, I need to just pick a color and size of each one and get them placed together. So let's pull this. Let me move these over. So what I am thinking is then we'll come in with Tide Pool. They just don't line up. Once you start messing with the colors, they don't line up, and they should. So that makes me think I don't have the right one, but I just grabbed the second one, which should be the correct one. So that just, it doesn't make much sense. Okay, but nevertheless, let's just do this again. Let's grab the third one down. I believe that's Honeysuckle. And then we've got Pink Lemonade. And I think this is Clementine. No, this is Creamsicle. Okay, so that is going to be the order. And I'll just keep these. I can make more rainbows with it, obviously, or just use them as color blocking strips for different cards. The next projects that I'm going to be working on, I've got the knitting together die and coordinating stamps. That's what it looks like on the back side. And then I also have this exclamation dies, and it's got this happy birthday. So I'm thinking about bringing these colors in for a card with this, but stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't, because these cards are coming to the channel next, in the next couple of weeks. So now that we've got our rainbow, let's go ahead and prep our panel. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer because I want to trim this down. The final measurements of the panel will be 3 3/4 by 5. And I am using 80-pound cardstock for the panel. And now that is sized down, and we can start building that up. And I am not sure on, well, I'm not sure, but what I'm kind of thinking is, well, that's kind of neat, actually having them spread out like that. But what I was thinking was 2 things, and I just was looking on Concord and Knight's Instagram page, and I saw a card where they just had some color strips kind of coming down like this, and then they had, you know, other, like a sentiment or something down below. And when I saw it, I immediately thought of the unicorn and the clouds, and I thought that that would be kind of cool to have the rainbow kind of coming out of the clouds and then running off of, you know, the card. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I would really like to have the angle on the card. So let me just kind of play around with this and see. And that's kind of cool with it being angled like that and curved. And I would just clean up the edges. And then we could just have a couple clouds. Okay, so I'm getting a general idea. I'm not 100% sure. So before I start to make anything permanent, I am just going to go ahead and color. And then we can get these cut out and then make our rainbow permanent. I think that that will be the best bet. I'm going to be using Tri-Blend markers. It is 3 markers in 1. These are alcohol markers, and I really like these because it comes with a light, mid, and darker tone all in one marker. I will admit that they do not blend very well. They don't blend as easy or effortlessly as maybe a Copic or another alcohol marker. I do have Ohuhu, and Ohuhu from Amazon. These blend much better than these. So just a little disclaimer there. But I love them because they all have the fine tip. And like I said, it's 3 markers in one, so it kind of takes the guesswork out of you having to cipher through your markers or your swatches to try to get a light, mid, or darker tone. So that's nice. So what I'm doing is just using each tone for a layer, basically. So I started out with the light, and now I'm on to the darker shade for the outer portion of the horse's mane. And then this part only has 2, and I already colored that in. So now I'm going to just follow along with the tail. And let's think. I have a coral blend here in light. Okay, I'm going to come in with this color for the little ears. Cute. Now I want the hoofs colored. Let's go ahead and color the horn. I'm going to come in with the citrus blend in light. And just kind of color that in. Let me zoom in so you can see a bit better. It's not much coloring. There's no shading because it's just a small area to work with. And I think let's make the hoofs yellow too. And then we've got our star here. So let's carry that color over. And we're not going to use that one because that one's smeared. And I don't really like how those accents look now that I'm really paying attention. It's kind of smeared. It's just not very clean. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss this. And now we've got our little fairy. So I'm going to use the same color. Oh wait, is this the, yeah, this is the pale pink. I was making sure that it wasn't the coral blend. I'm going to color her little dress in that pink, and let me grab the skin tone, and I'm going to come in with light for her body. Just a very small area to work with. Let me come in and color, oh, sorry about that, color her hair in a light brown. Now I'm going to come in with a mid-tone and just add a little detail to kind of create like a shadow. And then her wings, I think it's ice blue blend. Let me test out the lighter shade of this. That is quite vibrant. So just a little blue there, and then let me, I thought I had a lighter blue in here. I'm going to try the True Blue blend in light. Oh yeah, that's practically white or clear. So let's use that lighter shade. And I'm just going to pull that blue onto the outer portion of those wings. Okay, and she is done. Do we want a little cheek? I think I want to make a little pink cheek. Ooh, that's a little too big. Crud, that's way too big. We'll leave it, I'll look at it. It's cute, but it's just really large. Now for the clouds, I have 2 options. I can leave it as is, or I can add a little blue detail, and I'm thinking I want to add some blue. So this is the Ice Blue Blend in Light. I just wanted to verify that. I'm just gonna make a outline on the inner part here. I really like how that looks. I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave the other ones as is because I'm just not 100% sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these aside here. And let's go ahead and cut these down. Okay, so I cut everything out. This cloud smeared. So we've got that, and I don't think I'm going to use the blue little outline there. Just now that I'm seeing it cut out, I definitely like just the stark white with the black line. It matches with, you know, the rest of the little cutouts having the black line. So I like that. Just create some unity there. Now, let's bring this back in. So let's position this how I was originally thinking from the card I saw on Concord and 9th. So we've just got the strips coming down like so. Okay, so I taped the little strips together. It's obviously not perfect, but what if, you know, we have just a couple clouds interacting with the rainbow, maybe another cloud up there, and something like that. And then we've got the fairy. Something along those lines. I think I like it. But what I need to do is, I think I'm going to cut and color this out again because the cheek is way too big. And for some reason, I am spreading random markings all over my stuff. I'm not sure what. I think it's ink from my fingers, actually, now that I'm looking at them. So I've got to recut some stuff out, but I will come back and we will build this card and everything will be looking a lot nicer and cleaner. So let me get these cut back out and I'll be right back. So I cut out more clouds. I recolored the unicorn. I know what I'm going to do now. I'm loving how this looks. We're also going to make this an interactive card, but first we need to do some embossing. So I am moving things out of the way because I want to stamp right below the rainbow. So I have this taped together to keep them aligned and in the order that I want them in. And now I need to pick up this tape here. And I'm just going to place it right on top of those strips. And I have the stamps on my panel. Where is my... Okay, so I was looking for my mini Misty and I'd already put it back up. So our panel is already cut down. And now we are going to align the stamps at the bottom. And I'm going to have to, well, I'm wondering if I should stamp them one at a time so I can make sure that they're nestled close together. I wonder how this will look if I don't. If I just stamp it all at once, because I want to use embossing powder. Let's just stamp it one at a time to be safe. So let's start with the bottom portion here. So what it says is, "You are my rainbow on a cloudy day." So make sure that this is in a good position, and once I clean the door, I can look at the stamp and see if it's straight, and it appears to be straight. So what I want to do, I'm going to take my anti-static bag here, neutralize my paper, and condition my stamp because I haven't used this stamp before. And I'm going to be using Versamark, and this is going to just make this sticky. So the embossing powder will stick to it, and then we will melt it. So just pressing that down. I'm going to have to reposition my panel, making sure that it's really aligned in that corner. And I'm going to stamp it twice. Okay. So let's move that one out of the way. Now the next one is rainbow. Making sure it's straight. And I'm just going to repeat the process, stamping each text twice and repositioning my paper to make sure it is in the correct position. Okay, so fingers crossed that this is going to look good. I'm going to bring in a catch piece of paper here. And I just realized that I lost my silver embossing powder in the move. No idea where it's at. I feel like it's probably in the back of the drawer. So I'm using gold, but I originally wanted to use a silver. Oh, that looks good. Looks a lot better than the alternative, right? I don't have to redo it. So that is a blessing. That's kind of a lot of work. Definitely worth it, but a lot of work to get all that stamped back out. So let me place the lid back on this so nothing blows anywhere. And I want to clean up the edges a little bit because there's a little embossing powder over here. Okay, I'm just taking a paintbrush and brushing off that excess powder. All right, so I am going to use my heat gun, my heat tool. This is from Hobby Lobby. It has a low and a high heat. I'm going to turn it on high and let it heat up for about 15 to 20 seconds and then apply it to my paper. And I'm doing that so this is nice and hot so it melts the powder faster, because if you go slow and you apply a lot of heat to the paper will start to warp. So heating this up first, nice and hot. And there you have it. See that shine? You are my rainbow on a cloudy day. It is so pretty. And the gold looks great. So the gold, I think that was a good choice. But I need to find my silver, and if I can't find it, I'm definitely going to buy a new one tomorrow because I'm going to be going to town and I'm going to stop by Hobby Lobby. Okay. I need to clean off this panel. It's got all these little markings on it up at the top. So I'm going to take my residue eraser and clean this up. I don't know what this is coming from. I don't know what this is, but my last card had it too. Something on my desk that I'm spreading around. I'm going to bring in some liquid glue and I'm going to apply glue to these strips here. Okay, and lay them down, make sure that they are, making sure they're straight. That is not straight. Is it? No. Oh, goodness. What I think I'm going to do is take these apart because I'm about to mess stuff up. Okay, I almost lost it. I thought I was going to have to trash this because I originally had them a little off, and then I felt like my panel was just getting all dirty and dingy, but I think I saved it. There are the 5 strips, and I'm loving how this is looking. I'm loving the colors. So now bringing back in my paper trimmer so we can trim this down so we have a nice clean edge. And behind the scenes, it is a mess. Oh my goodness. Okay, and my glass mat has glue on it. I was making a mess with these little strips. Okay. So now let's turn this over, and there you have the strips. So you don't need the rainbow die. It is a great accessory to have for your collection to add rainbows, but we're not using the angle here. We're just using strips. So you could easily just cut paper strips out with your paper trimmer and call it a day. You definitely don't need a die if you wanted to recreate this aspect of the card. So let me do a mid-craft cleanup real quick and clean off my glass mat and my stamps before we bring in our card base, because I'm just kind of transferring stickiness everywhere. So everything is cleaned up. I am bringing in my card base, and this is 110 pound. We are going to build up our panel with some foam tape here. Ooh, that is way too close to the edge. Goodness. And this is also going to straighten out any warping of the paper from the heat gun. And if you're curious, the foam tape is from Hobby Lobby. Well, and actually, my paper is from Hobby Lobby. I believe it's the Paper Studio brand. The scissors are from Hobby Lobby, which are non-stick. And same with the foam tape. All right, so now let's get this attached. And I want to bring in an interactive element for our unicorn. And make sure this is straight and aligned. Needs to be shifted down a bit, but I don't think I can pick it up. Let's see. No, I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to bend or mess anything up. All right, so getting that pressed down. How cute. How cute is this? All right, so let's zoom back in a bit. And now the unicorn looks a lot better. So that is just a little cheek detail versus what I had before. Yeah, so this one's a no-go. So we've got our unicorn in pink, and then we'll have a little cloud. I know I want the unicorn and a cloud interacting with each other in some way. So I like how that looks. And then maybe something like that. So I've got these little guys. I have a mixture of the really large ones, and then these are the smaller ones. And this just makes it a wobbler. That's what it's called, an action wobbler. So it's got a hard piece of plastic. This is the harder, thicker piece here. And then this is the more flexible piece. These are from Hobby Lobby as well. Let's go ahead and attach the thinner portion to our cardstock, to our character. and then the harder part will be on the card base. And I did cut out our characters and the clouds in 110-pound cardstock just to make them more substantial, because I knew that I was going to build them up in some way. I think I'm going to use pop dots for the clouds. And I'm going to try to position this. It barely fits on here. I think some of it's going to be exposed, some of the plastic. Okay. So just getting that pressed on there. And now we just need to think about positioning. So maybe something like that. I really just like it just like this. I think we're gonna go with that. So let's glue this cloud directly to the rainbow. Okay, getting that pressed down, and then I'm going to take off the protective little layer there. Let's go ahead and add some liquid glue as well, just to ensure that it's going to really stick down. And I'm not attaching it, I'm not gluing it to the cloud. I just went a little bit above the cloud and just getting that pressed down. And I'm holding it down because we use that liquid glue. Okay. And there we have our little action wobbler. So cute. And I'm contemplating this. I'm kind of thinking it should stay flat like the first one. Yeah, definitely so. So let's go ahead and add the glue. And these clouds are different. You can see how they're the opposite. Because I cut them out a couple times, but I just wanted to let you guys know that these are the two cloud cutouts that it gives you. So we've got, you know, them, it's the same cloud, they're just facing different ways if you pay attention to the curvature of the cloud itself. And that's it, guys. Oh my gosh. All right, I keep changing my mind. I want to add one more cloud. I feel like it's a little empty, and I think I was trying to fill this space with embellishments and it wasn't working, and what it needed was just an extra little cloud. And interacting with the card base a little bit and the panel, I think that that is a more well-balanced card front, and it's more intentional, and this is the final card. So let me know what you think. I hope this was inspirational to you, because it definitely was for me. I saw a little inspiration from Concord and Ninth, and I remembered this simple, small stamp and die set that I had that I needed to use, but I just didn't know which way to go about it. So thank you, Concord and Ninth Instagram, for this inspiration. Be sure to check the description box for the colors and follow me on Instagram as well. The links will be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next Carter Craft. Bye, everyone.